Like almost everyone else, we have shower and bathroom issues. Those knobs are just at the right height to be a real problem for my husband. Eventually we're going to have to move them. When we do, maybe we'll do something about the entire shower stall. Most people are able to store their hampers in their shower stalls or tubs. As you can see, we always have standing water. Don't tell us to sop it up. We don't remember. The whole shower stall was installed crooked. What we have done to solve that problem was to put in these industrial weight hooks. I know that they will hold the weight of a small child hanging off of them because they did when we had them in our garage. We have two laundry bags, one white and one colored, and we hang them from each of these hooks. When it's time to take a shower, let's see, we can just, if I can get this past me, we can just unhook the hooks, the shower bags, and toss them on the bed, and then just put them back, and that solves our problem. Another thing that irritates the living daylights out of me is this little slot between the shower and the bedroom wall. I can't reach back there to clean it. I can get back there most of the way with a long shoehorn and a wet paper towel. But there's always that little bit of stuff in the corners that build up. The bathroom is another place in RVs that just never seems to have enough storage. My husband made these shelves out of IKEA racks and some lumber he had left over from another project. We have a very small medicine cabinet, but I guess it'll have to do. And there's my mirror hanging on that hook. Hooks are great. We've got the towels we use hung up on them. We've got the toilet paper hung up on one. I have to do something nicer looking with that. And we have the cushion from the overhead vent hung up on one. My husband says, oops, OCD, and I possibly have control issues about clutter. I was raised by a hoarder, and everything has to be in its place. There's the scale there, the toilet brush, the wastebasket. If it's not in its place and neat, I go crazy. These little IKEA things make things look like they're neat, even when they're out on the counters, which is something that bothers me. And, oh, by the way, I have started cleaning my toilet with Listerine. It kills most of the germs. It's dual purpose because we also use it to clean our teeth and gargle. And it smells nice. Another problem people have on some of the smaller RVs, ours is 32 foot, is when they stuff a queen-size mattress into a slide and leave no room on either side for anything. No place to put a drink or a book. We got those shelves at IKEA. There used to be a bottom shelf, but it had to go. I kept hitting my head on it. We put these drink holders and magazine racks on either side. In my case, I've turned mine into a charging station, and I also have a remote since I watch my TV in here. The cord for the plug runs down here and into the slide for the bed. It works, it accommodates the slide and doesn't crush the wires. We've also put hooks up there for the hats, and as you can see, another cushion for the ceiling vent. One of the things I mentioned on a previous video was this area up here. The geniuses that designed this thing had a blank panel on it, and they had this TV hanging from the panel. My husband took the panel off and found all this space. Nearly all of his clothes are in there. He's a pretty good woodworker, so he made these doors. I think he did a nice job. Good color match. Down here, I don't know why they thought this would be a good dressing table area or whatever they thought it would be. It's really not. There's no place to sit in here. You're right up against the edge of the bed. It doesn't work. So what he did, he put a shelf in here for all the traveler here, the boxes and whatnot, the wine guard. We picked up some of these little cigar boxes. You can pick them up at the cigar shops in various sizes, and they slide under there. I can keep a few books under here. It's not a big deal. And under the bottom there was nothing there, but he had an old desk that was kind of junk. He took the drawers out, and we each have an office drawer. Looks like mine needs some straightening up. Down here, this was just blank space. At first we tried putting bins here, but they always fell out. So we put the stuff in the bins someplace else. And we're going to put shelves down here, or cubicles or something, for shoes. Because otherwise there really isn't any place to put our shoes. At night, the dog bed lives here. He used to sleep with us, but I have joint and pressure point issues. I have to be able to move. And with him pushing down on the blanket, I can't do it. So during the day, his bed stays over there in the corner. Nobody needs to really walk back there. And at night, it stays over here, where it gets more of the furnace heat. Unless you get into the really large RVs, they all seem to be lacking counter space and storage. Part of the way we solved the counter space problem was to leave the covers on the stove, and we bought 2 of these New Wave induction burners. Available on TV. They come with their own pans. That's kind of good. We've got the shelf up there from IKEA. What would we do without IKEA to get stuff up off the counter? So I've got the counter space here. I've still got the cutting board. And I have a sink if I want to wash something or use that. Hooks everywhere. For small cutting boards, for dish towels, for paper towels. This has to go. It's too big to fit into any of the cabinets. Another thing I think I mentioned on a previous video was the cabinet under the stove. They had the built-in vacuum cleaner here, God knows why. My husband put in some shelves, cut exactly to the height of my pans, and put the vacuum cleaner over in this space here. When we got the RV, there wasn't a space there. This was a blank panel. So he took the panel off, put hinges on it, and a handle. There you can see where the panel is screwed permanently on there. And there's the vacuum cleaner. I don't know if you can see it in the dark, but I even have a little space to store the hoses. I've mentioned my pantry unit on another video too. There's my broom hanging on the knob. It came with shelves. Shoddy shelves. When we were underway, they fell down, dropped everything. My husband made these sliding shelf units. Huge amount of storage. These latches keep them in place when we're on the road. And if you can find it, if you use trash bags like we do, the used grocery bags, this is the handiest little thing in the world. This is sort of a work in progress that should provide us with more storage. We did find out right away that we made a mistake in taking the carpet on the floor out. We had a couch here that nobody really used. It wasn't working for us, so we took it out to put this dinette booth in. We're going to get some nice storage under here. Doors are going on here in a little bit. But we got ahead of ourselves in taking that carpet out. We should have left that alone. The wood floor is nice, but it creates problems with trim and everything else. One thing we had wanted from this area that we did not have before was a strong, sturdy area we could use the computers. This table, very solid. And because we didn't have a plug over here, this one's been installed. Now anywhere you have wiring, which you know you have because that light is there, the wires will run between the ceiling panel and the bottom panel of any cabinets you have above. So we were able to run that through, and we'll run the 120 later too. One of the things we had up here that was difficult was limited storage for maps, guidebooks, whatever. It made it hard when we were on the road. There were pockets behind the chairs, but that's really not good enough. We had the slip pocket there. We did add this little bin here with stick-on Velcro and Velcro on the bottom. And I made this pouch and pocket unit. Wasn't that hard. It goes onto the unit, the dashboard with stick-on Velcro, and I sewed it onto the front piece here. It stays just fine. It doesn't have to hold a lot of weight because it's on the floor, so it just has to balance it. It works, and that little bit of extra storage is a real boon.